G'day plant friends and welcome back to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. My name is Scott and it's my goal here to grow an avocado tree from seed to the point of bearing fruit and to document the process along the way. Today I've got a slightly different video. Now I was tagged by my friend Julie Nicole. There's a link to her channel in the description below. Thank you Julie for tagging me. In her tag, the Juicy Planttubers tag. And so I've got some juicy questions ahead, which I'm going to answer. Let's get to it. What are the 3 most expensive plants you own? What were their prices and do you have any regrets? The more expensive plants that I own are expensive because of the labour that has gone into them being produced. So my expensive plants are really fruiting plants. I've got some fruit trees which were more expensive than many of my house plants just because it takes time to grow the rootstock, then to graft, wait for that to heal and grow into a tree, and that takes years. And so I understand why they are a bit more pricey. I think the most expensive plant, even though I've done that, it was only about 70 Australian dollars, and I've got a handful of those. So over the years I've accumulated a range of different fruit trees in pots. The pots are another part which adds a bit more price to it. But I don't have any of those crazy $100, $150, $200, $300 plants because I haven't felt the need to get one. The second question is, what is the most you would spend on a plant? And I kind of have to think about this in 2 halves. So there's indoor and outdoor. Outdoor, for example, I'm willing to spend a lot more than indoor plants, especially if it is a fruiting plant, specifically a tree. You know, canes and bushes, they're not so dear, but when we start thinking about fruit trees, it's not unusual to pay $60 or $70 for them. So I'm very happy to pay that money for a fruit tree because I acknowledge that there's been a lot of work that goes into producing those for me to be able to get one in my yard. When we're talking more indoors, I acknowledge as well that there's time involved, and there's a reason I like to buy my plants fairly young because they are cheaper. My wife and I, we've got a golden cane palm in our living room and we've had that for 3 years. We bought that and it was only about $25 when we bought it. But if we were to try and buy one of the same size now, it would be much more expensive because of the time it has taken to grow and the amount of effort that has gone into caring for it. So I probably wouldn't want to spend any more than $30 or $40 on an indoor plant and $80 or $90 on an outdoor plant. The third question is, has your plant collection ever caused issues in your relationships? Hey lovely, has my plant collection ever caused issues in our relationship?
Sometimes.
When?
When you have surprise running trips and add extra items without discussing them. The price jumps up quickly.
Spending more than I agreed on, perhaps, yes. So this is something which we have worked on I have worked on through our relationship, is that communication is really, really important, especially when it comes to things like money, because especially when you're sharing it, we can't surprise people with it because that's not really fair. Question number 4 is, has owning plants interfered with your travel plans? I made a video earlier this year about how I keep my plants alive while I'm traveling. So if you'd like to see that, there's a link to that in the description below. But really the short answer is not really. So I've got a number of strategies, including for my outdoor garden an irrigation system that's on a timer, so that everything will be watered at the same time each day, and or every second day, every third day, the frequency I decide. And for my indoor plants, giving specific instructions that are simple, rearranging plants so they're in the same space so that my house sitter doesn't have to walk around the house searching for plants, and being comfortable with the idea that they're not going to get the same level of care as when I would be looking after them myself. You know, I'm not going to ask my sitter to fertilize, I'm not going to ask them to treat the pests. Watering really just to keep them going is the only thing that I will get my sitter to do. So not really, it hasn't really concerned my travel plans. Question number 5 is, have you killed a plant intentionally? Yes, many. I kill things which I consider to be weeds, and the way that I define a weed is just a plant that's in the wrong place. For example, there was a wattle growing at my house when we first moved in, and I had a chat with my landlord about it. Now, he had already cut it down to a stump. It had started regrowing, and so he chopped off that trunk, and then it just started regrowing again. So I had a chat with him, and he just told me to kill it. So I killed that, and at the moment I'm also doing a bit of work up at my in-laws. Well, not right now because I need to stay in the house. Make sure you're staying at home. When I return there, I have got a number of agapanthus that I need to kill, which I'm a bit nervous about because they're really hard to kill. Other than plants that I consider to be weeds, any plant that I have intentionally sought after and put in my home, I have not tried to kill those intentionally, no. Question number 6, what is the most stressful part about owning plants? Now, there are a number of issues which arise when owning plants. You know, they're living things, and so they respond to different things in different ways. The one that causes me the most stress is root rot. I've talked about root rot a number of times in different places, and I made a video about how to rescue an avocado tree from root rot. That is in the description below. If you would like to rescue a tree or just any other plant from root rot, check that one out. That has caused me sleepless nights. I do have some strategies now for dealing with that. I know how to repot a root rotten plant while it's still alive to rescue it, and I've had some success in that. I have changed up my soil mixture so that it is better draining, and I water better now. So I use a moisture meter to track the moisture level in my soil so that I am not overwatering. But root rot is still something which causes me stress, and when I start seeing signs of it, it doesn't make me feel good. Question number 7 is a bit of a tricky one for me. If you were only allowed to have 3 plants in your collection, which ones would they be? Now, I'm interpreting this question as 3 individual plants, which is tricky for me because if I were to add up all of my outdoor and indoor plants, I would have over, 200 plants. Many I've grown from seed. But if I had to only have 3 plants, I would have to pick the avocado tree that I started in my classroom last year. It has a lot of sentimental value to me, and I think it's a beautiful plant. I would also pick the golden cane palm that is in my living room. We've had it for 3 years. It is glorious and beautiful and big, and I just love to see it. And the third one is my 2 or 3 year old rattlesnake calathea. It's just beautiful. I love its colours, the reds and the greens, and I love how it dances during the day. I think it's just a really lovely plant. Question number 8 is, what is your opinion on the rare plant hype? I'm really not too fussed about rare plants or uncommon plants. I am concerned about filling my home with plants which are beautiful and bring me joy. Same for that in my garden. I like plants that are beautiful and so often can be productive and fruitful. And so I'm not really into the scarcity or uncommon plant market because it just doesn't interest me. Question number 9. Have you ever purchased a plant just because it was trending and you don't like it that much? No. And there's really not much more I have to say about that one. Next question. Question number 10. Do you think having a plant collection is bad for the environment? Now, when Julie posed this question, I know that she's talking about the packaging and the waste produced from transporting, purchasing, growing plants. So in terms of just producing waste, my plant collection, it doesn't really, not very much. I don't really order plants online, very rarely, and if I do, they are trees and they don't come with a lot of extra packaging. They'll come with a pot and a cardboard box that they are shipped in. I often wash and reuse my pots for other things, and I can burn or compost that cardboard in a safe and environmentally friendly way. But the bulk of my plants I keep in my outdoor garden, which is really good for the environment. We can talk about the fauna of the area. There are a lot of insects which visit my garden, native birds, and it's good for those. And also it's just good to keep plants. It's good for soil, it's good for water in the area, it's good for air quality. So I don't have any problems with keeping my plant collection in terms of environmental impact. Obviously, it's very important to source things responsibly, and I like to buy locally as often as I can, and to use sustainable products, and to recycle things when you can. Question 11, final question. How much would someone have to pay you to kill your favorite plant? $1 million. Actually, the number's probably a fair amount lower than that, but still, $1 million. And that brings us to the end of the questions. What fun. Now, I need to tag a few people to continue on this tag. So I am tagging Casey from Plant with Casey, Marina from Millennial Planter, Matt from Thick Potter, and Aki from Aki's Place. So enjoy, guys. I look forward to seeing your videos. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you did, I'd love to know. Please give this video a like and let me know what you think in the comments below. And actually, I filmed this video on a live stream. If you'd like to watch that live stream, there is a link at the under this video as well, and at the end of this video, if you'd like to see a bit of behind the scenes stuff, watch me chat with the people who were watching this video with me, you can watch that there. Make sure you're subscribed to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. If you haven't done so already, turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of my avocado updates. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree.